Hey guys, what's up? Alright, microphone's on. What's up, Brenda? Hey Ben, hey Greg, hey Ziggy, hey Rhonda, hey Denise, hey Wild Irish, hey Robin, hey Mimi, hey Ben. Alright, let me give my hello first. My name is PURPLEXEDQT. Welcome to my channel. My disclaimer is you may hear a word mispronunciated. I may say something backwards. It's just who I am, and we try to make comic out of everything. So, thank you, Mimi. What's up, Positive Panther? Hey, Denise. Hey, Nisi. Hey, Jim. Hey, Tara. Hey, Carla. Hey, Robin. Hey, Letha. Hey, Glitter Girl. Hey, Obi. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Puss in Boots. Hey, Capone. And Capone, no, you're not Dr. Toofs. And what's up, Steph? Hey, Irene. Ben, I think I said hi to you already. What's up, Greg? Hey, Ryan. And hey, what's up, Wits and Bonnie? And the truth, Dr. Toofs. What's up, Amy? Hey, Ziggy. I think I said hi. What's up, Marek? Hey, Suzanne. Hey, Dinap. Why, thank you, Dinap. Hey, Julie. PJ Party turned into a comedy. So, let me just say this. Last night was comedy. We were joking around, and I heard that some people took it really serious, and it triggered them. I had to laugh my ass off. I can't stop laughing at this word trigger. And so tonight we decided to step the game up a little and make it even more obvious that we're being comedic. But maybe I'll turn into a comedy channel. I don't know. Or maybe I'll be a real drama channel with actresses, because if people really took me seriously last night, well, then I'm better than I thought I was as an actress. So, what's up, Water Ski Mom? Hey, Tinker, thank you. What's up, Carol? I trolled Mr. Season. Did you really? How could you? You big meanie. Drama comedy. That's right. But I really can't believe they took me seriously last night. But you know what? It worked out for the best. So the plan is working. Hey, Samara. And hey, Lisa. Thank you, Carla. So as long as the plan is working, it's all good. And the plan is obviously working. So, but can you imagine if I made a video that someone didn't know how to pronunciate a word? Can you imagine if I made a video that they didn't know where the Mason-Dixon line was? Like, can you imagine if I made videos for this and they want to be crime? They don't even know what the Mason-Dixon line is? Like, I would love to do it, but it's not worth my time. But I really would love to do it. Hey, Grave Dodger, thank you. Dramedy. That's it. I ain't ever look that cute when I go to bed. What am I doing wrong? Then you haven't been with the right man. Thank you, Carol. So what tonight is... Okay, so let's get right into it. What tonight is... Part of tonight is I keep getting diagnosed, subs are getting diagnosed, everybody's getting diagnosed, especially me. So we decided to do some diagnosing of them. There will be no names mentioned, but just like Red Sharpie, you guys will know who we're talking about, who we're referring to. But so many people are grouped into one. Some of it's going to be off the hook, off the cuff. Some of it we mapped out earlier. I also want to say, thank you, Water Ski Mom. I also want to say that for anybody, now I lost my train of, for anybody that got upset that we were called being in a cult, or that I was a mastermind, or that I was the mafia, any of that, even though Ben coined the term mafia. one of my Patreons, I don't know if she wants to be named, but one of my Patreons started looking through Katie's video, because we all just got turned on to Katie recently. Like within like the last month. Nobody watched her. We didn't, because we weren't into the drama channels. But in the last month, we all fell in love with her. So one of my Patreons started going back to her older videos, and we found one that she was like, oh my God, you have to watch this. Katie was called a cult leader. Katie was called mafia. Katie was called that she's mind fucking her subs to make this cult. So I'm not the first person they did this with, and I'm certainly not the first person that they said this to. And from the impression I got from the video, it was the people I have a truce with. I don't know if it was A or B, but it seems like it was more B because she was in the title. So I kind of realized, you know what? They've done this before. This is the same old, same old. They are saying the exact same things to me, thinking like I wouldn't know that they already said it to Katie because I didn't watch Katie and they knew it. So it was pretty nice to see that I'm not the first they've done this with. And this is like, you know, I wish I was original and I was the first one they did this to, but it's not. They said all the same things to her. And I don't know who did it. I don't know if it's escalated from them or what, but it was pretty interesting to me that it's old news. Like, they've already done this before. So just wanted to throw that out there. I love Katie now too. I just didn't know her 2 months ago. 3 months ago. So I definitely wanted to put that out there. So don't be offended if you're called that we're in a cult or I'm mind reading or anything else. They pulled the exact same shit with her. Everything that she said in this video, and it was from March of this year. And by the way, she looks amazing compared to, not that she wasn't beautiful then, but she's like night and day from then to now. And I just couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. Like, all the same things, like to a T. It was kind of scary. It was eerie. Exactly. It probably won't be the last. You got that right. It is laughable. And also there's another thing I want to get out of the way. Did they blow up your stove too? No. She does look awesome now. And she said the same thing I did, which was weird because she was like, if I had the power to like mind manipulate people, I'm like, oh my God, I said the same thing. She's like, I'm really not that important. And I was like, wow, it's amazing. I never found her before. So thank you, Carol. Hey, Susie Q. So I also want to say that I didn't want anyone to mistake some of the things that were said last night. And I'm going to stress this because it seems to be a running thing, and I need to get this out of the way. I'm sure there are wits. When we were laughing the other night at the video, we weren't laughing at her. We weren't laughing. I don't even know how Stephanie T's name even came up because we didn't. But we weren't laughing at her. We were laughing at the things she was saying about me because nothing could be further from the truth. And to say that I scout out weak-minded people is ridiculous because I don't scout out anybody. Patreons come to me. That's the kind of shit we were laughing at. So before anybody hangs me on a cross again, or even though they already did, please know what the fuck you're talking about before you, oh, poor Sigrid, poor Sigrid. We're laughing at her. I mean, I guess we were laughing at her, but we were laughing at the things she was saying because it was so not true. And if somebody has a problem with that, well, I don't know what to tell you. Lighten up a little, you know. But don't worry, we got a diagnosis for you. And thank you, Bonnie. And finally, I want to say something I said last night. I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. Drama is not what I choose to do, but I also don't do it for views. I like doing crime Monday to Friday, and I do drama on the weekends. That's how I wanted it. But because of asshole after asshole after asshole, I kind of had no choice but to address certain things. Now, I don't address everything. If I addressed everything, that's all I would do is drama reactions 24/7. That's not going to happen. I ignore about 95% of it. There's about 5% that I'm not ignoring for good reasons, and nobody expects me to ignore it. So the fact that people seem to keep talking shit about me, about, oh, she's going to do drama. She's a drama channel. I'm going to say this one last time. This is my platform. If I choose to do drama, I'll do drama. I'll lose crime people, but I'll do drama. If I choose to do strictly crime, then I'll do crime. If I choose to talk about become a weatherman, weatherman still. If I choose to do the weather every day, then I'll do the weather every day. If I choose to sell sneakers, then I'll fucking sell sneakers every day. So this whole thing where people tell me what I should do, what I shouldn't do, oh, she's doing this, she's doing that, it's only haters. And if you hate me so much, why do you care about what I do at all? The same person that will say, oh, I don't like you, will then turn around and watch me and then tell me what I should be doing. Well, if I suck at this and I suck at that, what the fuck do you care what I do? So I just want to put that out there. Everybody's got their 2 cents in, and I really don't know why. It's my platform. I'll do what I want. And if I choose to do crime, I'll do crime. If I choose to do drama, I'll do drama. If I choose to do celebrity gossip, I'll do celebrity gossip. If I choose to hang upside down and spit wooden nickels, so be it. It's my choice. So just want to throw that out there. I could sell ice cream. Just don't poop on Walmart bags. Absolutely not. Definitely not. The truth, my pug is snoring away right now. This is your life, and you do what you want at the end. And that goes for everybody. Absolutely. We are grown women and men. Sorry, Ben. We are grown women and men. We are not answerable to, like, I'm answerable to my subs. I'm answerable to my Patreons. I'm answerable to you guys. But in the sense that, hey, Laura, like Jay and Mac, perfect example. If I don't go back to crime soon, I'm going to lose him. And I have a few of those like that. And the drama has taken over a lot. But I know that, and he knows me. He's known me a long time. So I just don't want anyone to think like I'm leaning one way or the other, because I am leaning towards more crime. But I'm not set on either one. Like, I mean, I guess I am on crime, but I can change with the wind. If I want to do this, I'll do this. If I want to do that, I'll do that. But that's what makes me me, is different dynamics, different aspects. And if you don't like crime and you only like drama, so only tune in on weekends. If you like drama and you don't like crime, so be it. If you hear from me and it doesn't matter what I say, then you're going to like whatever I put out. And that's all that matters. So that's it. Because drama's overrated. It is overrated. Thank you, Julie. That's exactly right, but they don't see that. They're too dumb to see that. Uncle Lancy, never uncivil, never a suck up. And you will always have your top supporters to watch whatever you do. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, to me, YouTube is like the half of YouTube, not all of it, but half of YouTube is really about the person, the creator. People that love PewDiePie, doesn't matter what the fuck he puts out, they're going to watch him. That's the subs. That's your core subs. Then you have others that come in and out, in and out. And that's okay too. You know, a lot of Making a Murderer people, I keep losing because I've lost interest in the case. They're still into the case, so I lost them. I can't help that. People come and go. You know what I mean? Harry, you want to stick around. It's pretty funny, actually. We have a good night planned. So that's what it is, you know? So I just wanted to put that out there before I start. Hey, Angel Ruth. All right. So what tonight is, as you guys know, I've been diagnosed with everything under the sun. From being a cult leader to narcissism to selfish to calling my subs horrible people to fucking over Patreon. I mean, on and on and on. To being the worst person in the world. To being a mafia leader. I don't think there's something I haven't been called. Hey, Jennifer. Thank you. So, Your videos are forever. That's right. My videos are forever. Dr. Tooth does not live in Los. It's not Dr. Tooth. It's Dr. Toof. Toof. Psychopath. That's another one. Tony Soprano. Cult leader. Jim Jones. I don't think there's anything I haven't been called. I've been called a cokehead. I've been called a hooker. I've been called, what else? I forgot what else I've been called. Just a whole, Jay, I just mentioned you. A whole bunch of shit. So once my PhD doctor gets up here, then we can start, because we've really sat there and analyzed a lot of people on YouTube. And we sat and analyzed different diseases and different things that these people are really suffering from. And maybe they don't know they're suffering from it. So there is a book, the DSM YouTube. And if you don't know what DSM is, the DSM-4, I believe, is the latest. It's a psychology book that has every medical condition in there. So we have our own book. It's the DSM 69 of YouTube. And it focuses on all YouTube diseases and the problems that these people are suffering from. So I have to wait for Dr. Toof. By the way, and no, we are no minion. Yeah, I've never called you guys minions. I've never called you flying monkeys. Those are other people's terms. They're not my terms. Dr. Toof hails out of Florida. DSM-5. I couldn't remember. I didn't remember if it was 4 or 5. Learned of the DSM during the Jodi Arias trial. No, the DSM is good. Lots of people take Adderall. It's a wonder drug, in my opinion. Lots of people do take Adderall. I should be in there under several chapters. We have a bunch of chapters. I'm just waiting for Dr. Toof. Where are you? It's not Dr. Toof, but I changed it. Hold on, let me give her an invite. Alright. Hey, Johnny. What's CK's? Who's CK? You guys and your damn initials. Hey, Uisha. I hate the flying monkey nickname. Of course, should be there under. Oh. Is this person imaginary? Nope, person's real. And you all know and love her. She's gonna miss it again. LOL, I tries. I'm gonna miss what? The title. What about the title? What's wrong with my title? Dr. Toof. Oh, you didn't get it at first? There we go. That's our PhD, Dr. Toof.
Hey, hello.
Hey, hey.
How's everybody?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay. What is showing on the screen? My picture or my
A really great picture.
Okay, well, I don't know about really great, but
It is. It's a great picture.
So we're going to have fun tonight talking about some illnesses or epidemics that seem to be going around the YouTube.
Yes, there are. And let's start with one. And this is not in any kind of order, but I think it applies to tonight. We're going to start off with one that you guys all know. And I'm going to let the PhD explain it so I understand it better. It's called the Mangina file syndrome. And being that she's such a wonderful PhD and has a doctorate in all of this stuff, I'm going to let her explain this one. So tell us what the Mangina file syndrome is.
Okay, well, Mangina file syndrome is pretty simple. It only affects males.
Okay.
And what it does is it makes males want to be relevant in female drama.
Okay.
To the point that they'll pretty much do anything to get the approval of the vaginas that surround them.
Okay.
So we don't have a lot of mangina cases here on YouTube. We just have a few here and there. Not all males suffer from mangina.
Okay.
We just, there's just a few documented cases floating around, and they know who they are. We can have males that are fully clear of any symptoms of mangina participate in live streams and have fun. It's the mangina disease. It becomes apparent when these males thrive on female drama.
Okay.
Where they almost don't become their self any longer. Their whole personality begins to change and turn vagina-like.
Okay.
They begin to take on the female problems.
Aha. So it's not just a guy that hangs out in a stream like, for example, like Ben or Capone or J-Mac.
No.
It's not someone like that.
No.
It's somebody like somebody that doesn't hang out in my room.
No, not at all.
Okay. Just check.
No.
Okay.
The couple of cases that I've come around or I've observed on YouTube, like I said, they're few and they're far between.
Okay.
But it is contagious. And it's contagious when you continuously submerge yourself into female drama.
Okay.
And it can really affect the brain, and it can really affect the genitals, because you almost take on, mentally, you begin to believe that you do have a vagina. So it's really a mental, it's really mental. But it can really convince you that you are no longer of male genitalia, but of female genitalia. So it's really a simple, not too in-depth disease, but there are a couple cases floating around out there, and I just tell the men out there that are, on YouTube and enjoy being in some of these live streams, you can go to these live streams and not suffer from mangina.
Okay.
Okay? So don't think just because you're a male and you're in a drama live stream that you'll automatically get mangina. It doesn't work that way.
But it is contagious.
It is contagious. And it's only contagious. It can only be spread if you are continuously in female drama, and the female drama enters your system. You take it in, you breathe it, you live it, then you become infected with it.
Okay.
And it's real hard to get rid of, but all I can do is tell the men out there, don't worry about it. As long as you're mentally sound, you should be okay. You really shouldn't have to worry about catching mangina.
See, do you think that coincides with subsnatcher disease? Because I've heard that too, and that's usually when men, sometimes women say, but mostly men say they absolutely do not like drama, and they won't have a drama channel, but yet you see them all up in the drama channels trying to get subs. So wouldn't
That
you
could
say
be.
that goes hand in hand?
That could, sub-snatcher disease could be a side effect of mangina. But
Uh-huh.
sub-snatcher disease could also be a side effect of many other disorders. So we can't automatically just say because you have mangina that you're a sub-snatcher. But it is common that if you have full-blown mangina, that sub-snatcher will probably, play a part in it. Okay? But sub-snatcher, where mangina can only belong to a male, sub-snatcher can also belong to females. I mean, females can get sub-snatchers. So, it's not where mangina is only a male disease. Sub-snatchers is for both genders. It can affect both genders. So,
Which we haven't even got to the good stuff yet. Just wait. Okay.
and we'll take questions from.
Yeah, once we're done with all the different diseases, and you guys can diagnose whoever you want, we're just not going to give names, but you guys can throw whatever names you want that you think fit the disease. Okay. So now we have one, ARDD, and it kind of goes with the whole sub thing. So ARDD is attention reaching deficit disorder.
Oh, yes.
And this one reaches a lot of people in this community. And being that you're so familiar with it, please go ahead and tell me exactly what it means.
Well, I was going to go ahead and let you give me your opinion on it. And then I would, either try to correct anything that I might feel that you're not, or touch on something that maybe you didn't touch on.
Okay. So ARDD is attention reaching deficit disorder. We all know what ADD is, or ADHD. And that means you can't focus. So you have to you're all over the place. So ARDD is when you can focus and you focus too much on one particular person, and that is your only focus. So a lot of people in this community suffer from ARDD. And it's kind of rare outside of this community, but it seems to be pretty big in this side of community, in this community. And what happens is that their only focus, whether it be to build a channel, if it coincides with sub-snatcher, but they just take one person. And I mean, the greatest way for women to bond is to hate on one person. So this is more of a female disease. Some men do it, but it's more leaning towards females, that they just have to focus on one person. And they're over-focused on that one person. There's the dog snoring. Over-focused on one person. So people hate that one person, and it's almost cult-like. It falls into mob mentality. And everyone hates on that one person. Some of them don't even know who the person is, but they just join in the fun. From this cult-like mentality that they have to focus on one person and forget the rest of the world. So did I miss anything? Did I explain that right?
Well, no, you did fine with it. But speaking of like cults and all that, then it kind of goes hand in hand with the Charles Manson meningitis.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Calling, Patreon and creator subs a cult or a mafia just because you're not privy to congregate with, the Patreon or the creator, so it kind of leads into, the Charles Manson meningitis. You'll find that a lot of these conditions go hand in hand because YouTube is such an environment in which things spread so quickly.
Okay.
So, and things get really out of control, disease-wise gets really out of control on YouTube because it's just such a toxic environment sometimes that, these funguses and these diseases and these disorders, they grow and they grow and they grow. So yeah, that kind of leads right into the Charles Manson meningitis. And that's just where you suffer from a disorder in which you form an opinion that somebody is a cult or someone is a
Gang
you know
leader.
exactly, some kind of organized crime, or something like that. So yeah, that kind of leads into that.
Do you think that people do it on purpose, or is it like a subconscious thing that they do?
Well, I don't think, I think maybe one person may do it on purpose, but then it begins to spread. So this is definitely, a mental disorder. This is not any kind of, thing you can take an antibiotic for or anything like that. I think one person forms this opinion or puts this out there into YouTube land, and then it just spreads like wildfire, like a pandemic. So,
Okay. Now, Nadia says that there's definitely a direct correlation between these disorders and criminal behavior. Would you agree with that?
Nadia, please elaborate. What do you say? I would hate to overstep my boundaries as far as my my knowledge on these things.
Spreads
Remember,
like herpes. All right, while we're waiting for her answer, being that we're speaking of diseases that are highly contagious and spread everywhere, have you heard of the Cuckoo babbles disease?
That's rare. That's rare.
It's rare?
But
I think it's pretty
think
common.
So.
It's highly, highly contagious.
Oh, okay. So maybe you need to
Yeah.
refresh me on that. Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you refresh me on that?
So the Cuckoo babbles disease is really, really contagious. What happens is it's when a sub or a creator states that they're free to do whatever they want with their money, but makes comments about what other subs give to other creators. That's called the Cuckoo babbles disease. Hey, Tor.
Yes.
So
yeah, that's definitely not my specialty, but yes, I have heard of that.
Yes. Snapchat pageant disease. That could be another name for Cuckoo babbles disease.
Yes, it could.
Jay, you may want to put on a condom soon, because we're getting to one that you may need one for. So, but that's the Cuckoo babbles disease, and it happens far too often that people watch everyone's money and know what they spend it on, but then that same person, you'll see a screenshot that says, don't worry about it, we'll do what we want with our money, it's our money. Well, that's like the most hypocritical thing I've ever seen, but okay. So that's why
and it's closely related to bankroll hypocrite bursitis.
That's a big one. Bankroll hypocrite bursitis. Okay.
Yes.
And what's that?
When you count other people's money and what they spend it on, all while you have, super chats on your live streams, and but you're always worried about someone else's super chats and how what's coming in on their ticker. So yeah, that kind of goes hand in hand there.
Is it curable?
It is really, all you have to do is just mind your own fucking business, and it will go away.
There you go.
I know several of these I don't like to call them, we'll call them disorders.
Okay.
They will go away without medication, anything like that, if you just mind your own fucking business. And, sometimes that's harder for other people than some, but, you can continue to suffer from these, or you can self-medicate by just minding your own fucking business.
Now, so being that the cure is mind your own fucking business, then bankroll hypocrite bursitis can't really go with a husband and wife, where a husband wants to know everything that money's spending on. That really doesn't apply, because a husband wouldn't mind your own business, right?
Right.
Okay. So it's just YouTube people, like strangers that don't know you personally. They don't pay your bills. They don't live with you. Just more like trolls and haters that always have something to say.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
Yes.
Is it similar to hardinitis?
I don't. Oh wow! I should have really brushed up, tonight on these different conditions. Do you want to just kind of read me some symptoms and I'll.
Okay, Rhonda, what are the symptoms?
Does Rhonda want to come up and talk about it, or?
Rhonda, would you like to come up and discuss it?
Because we'll be taking questions,
Yeah.
so.
Once we get through the ones that are already in the DSM, we'll certainly, people want to come up on panel and discuss any diseases that they can think of. What's it
Yeah,
mean
any
when you
disorders,
alternate?
anything like that. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
What's it mean when your alternator rents enough space in someone's head to fill a 3-bedroom apartment? I think it would fill a 6,000 square foot house, actually. A 3-bedroom apartment's kind of small. I think it filled up like a 6,000 square foot house. All right. So now here's one. Jay, you may want to put on your condom. Here's one that I want you to explain, which is virtues versus vagisil infection. Now,
Okay.
I know that this requires a PhD, not a pH balance. So I need you to explain.
Okay, basically what this is people with no psychology background, no mental health background, many older wives, women mostly on medication themselves, using Google to formally diagnose creators, subs, Patreons, spreading their knowledge or lack of to anyone that'll listen. This usually consists with another disease on the list. Dr. Google does not qualify you for mental health evaluations or vaginal infections. So yeah, this is pretty much, this is just, a lot of older women who, always throw their psychology, high school paper they wrote, which somehow makes them an expert on social media, mostly YouTube. Again, this can be treated so easy, and it does not require vagisil. And all you have to do is just, I'm telling you, mind your own business, and it will go away. This will go away.
But some of them may not have even finished high school if they don't know where the Mason-Dixon line is. So if they are judging somebody on their, if they're trying to judge somebody, they should at least have a GED, right? Or, you're saying that they have to have a college PhD.
They should have a PhD, not a pH imbalance,
Okay,
like I said, a pH imbalance can be cured with vagisil. A PhD, you really got to go to school. You've got to work hard. So, just all these women with pH imbalances throwing out their opinions on other people. It's just, it's sad, but it's so curable. All of these things that we're talking about are just so curable.
Do they sit in lawn chairs while they do it?
Some, that is a symptom to want to sit in a lawn chair while doing this. It is.
Okay. All right.
So yeah.
All right. Now, let me see. There's one that hits home with me that I think we should both explain. And that's called the postpartum previous Patreon syndrome. And this one a lot of people should be familiar with. It's when you belong to a group or a clique that you're either banned from or you voluntarily leave. you would leave said clique, and is now blamed for all of life's problems, where you draw sympathy from outsiders for your own bad actions and expect current members of the group to own your own bad behaviors.
Yes, yes.
Now, could you elaborate a little more?
Well, I mean, you pretty much covered it, but basically, it's people who have belonged to Patreon, who have left either willingly or non-willingly, and what they do is they take things that was done in Patreon that was normally considered a private conversation, or a, something that was never meant to leave Patreon, and they take it out into the big wide world of YouTube, and they take it to creators, and they play victim as if they were victims of this. So,
and why would they do that?
It's just a disorder. I don't know. There's so many. It's really one of the ones that has just not been, it's just not been looked into enough. It's not been researched enough, because Patreon is usually not such a problem, as because this doesn't happen in all Patreons.
Thank you, Nadia. This donation is for those affected by the previous Patreon syndrome.
And all we can do really is to pray for those that are affected with postpartum previous Patreon syndrome. I mean,
is there a cure?
It's not usually fatal. It's not usually fatal. Usually, once they become established in another community or another group, the syndrome does kind of fade away just on its own. So,
okay. Now, I think with that one, what if they are established in another community and yet they're still seeking for that approval from the previous group? The one that they left. Does it have a high fatality rate?
Well, no. It just, they just haven't gotten their fill yet. Once they get their fill, it'll fade away. It's, it's kind of like poison ivy. It itches for a little while. You scratch it for a little while. But once people stop scratching it for you, it just kind of fades away on its own. I don't believe it to ever be fatal. Not pretty much. There's nothing we're talking about tonight that would be considered fatal.
Okay.
These are all simple, very curable conditions. Some are brought on by things that people do themselves. Most are. You have itchy bitchy syndrome, and I don't know if you've ever heard of itchy bitchy syndrome.
But hold on, before we go to itchy bitchy,
Okay.
Isn't it true though that sufferers of the postpartum previous Patreon syndrome also suffer with extreme backstabbitis?
Extreme backstabbitis is definitely an extension of or a symptom of this. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to double check and make sure.
But it's normal. That's very normal for that to occur. It's an unfortunate syndrome. Like I said, it's a very unnecessary syndrome.
Okay.
If people just, didn't expect, if people didn't just put out itchy, nasty stuff that was never meant to be put out into, the crowd, and then expect people to scratch it for them, the syndrome would just, eventually I believe we could just totally rid the whole YouTube community of this. So,
now,
but go ahead.
Does it lay dormant?
It can, but by the time you would get a reoccurrence, anybody that was aware of your first bout with it, but they wouldn't be interested any longer. So it wouldn't do any good to bring it out of being dormant.
Is there any way to stop it so the extreme backstabatitis won't happen again?
No, I don't think so. I think it lies deep within a person. It lies deep within this person, and it's really up to the person as to whether they bring this out of themselves. So, no, I don't think there's anything you can do. Like I said, when they quit bringing itchy stuff out into the community and expecting other people to scratch it, and the people that are doing the scratching gets tired of it,
okay,
then I don't think you'll hear of that any longer. I think it'll be totally annihilated. I really do. I just don't think it'll be like, polio or something like that. It won't exist any longer.
So it flares up though.
It can flare up. It can, but it's really up to the individuals to make sure that doesn't happen. So
now, itchy bitchy syndrome also coexists with attentionitis. And explain what itchy bitchy is and how it works with postpartum and attentionitis.
Well, itchy bitchy syndrome is when you make things up just to be a bitch. And the side effects of this disease includes, but it's not limited to,
okay,
it becomes itchy around the anus area with inflammation around the anus area and red patches and blisters because you just keep pulling shit out of your ass.
I try not to laugh.
The positive side of this is if you stop pulling shit out of your ass, it will go away. It will go away. So, itchy bitchy is just, it's very common. People pull shit out of their ass all the time. Most people don't do it so often that it becomes irritated or, requires any kind of cream or ointments or anything like that. And like I said, if you just stop pulling stuff out of your ass just to be a bitch, it'll go away. It's just a really easy thing to get over. It really is.
Does it ooze and cause stinky butt?
Oh, it can. If you continue to pull shit out of your ass, it very well could become oozy, and it definitely could begin to stink. So,
can you get hemorrhoids from it?
You probably could. You probably could get hemorrhoids from it because, that's a sensitive area down there. So, it kind of goes along with, the old ass kissing disease. We all know what the ass kissing disease is. Don't kiss no ass, you won't look like one. Otherwise, you kiss ass, you'll learn to look like one. So, but that's an old one. We all know about that one. So, what else do we want to talk about tonight?
All right, there's one that's far too common on YouTube, and that is called loot. And loot is
loots. Yes, I know. I'm very familiar with loots.
Yes, it's well, Tinker, you are right on what loot is. Loot is lack of original thought syndrome, and it's way too common on YouTube. People with this disorder are lacking any type of original content, and they take titles from somebody else. They take things from someone else. They'll take ideas from someone else. They have absolutely no original content, no matter what the category is. Right?
Yes. Okay. Yes. You pretty much summed it up there. It runs deep in the YouTube community. It's almost at a pandemic level. And it's got to stop.
Yes,
it's got to stop. This could get serious. Loot could spread, and it could get totally out of control. So we as a community have really got to step up our game, and we've got to stop this. And all it does to stop it, all you have to do is, use your own content. Don't steal other people's contents. Don't play off other people's ideas. And loots will go away. You'll always have a little bit of loots. Loots is never going to be totally annihilated. It's never going to be totally, it's kind of always going to be like, kind of like a sore throat or chicken pox. It's always going to be there. There's no inoculation or anything like that for it. That's a good one. I'm sorry, Steph. That's a good one.
I was just going to say flip-flop
influenza.
I wrote that down. Now here's
we'll talk about that one too, Steph, if you want.
Here's one of my personal favorites is the mommy dearest syndrome. And this to me means a lot. Really, Sandal? You're a fucking idiot. When we have a troll one as well, and I wish I knew how to use a filter on a video. Because then I'd look like a supermodel. Where are we? Mommy dearest syndrome.
We were talking about mommy dearest syndrome, yeah.
So that's when haters, former patrons, haters, think that they have the power to instruct any creator, not just me, but any creator, on how their channel should be run, including but not limited to double dog dares. And the side effects are that creators singling you out and calling you out on your bullshit, because if you don't like someone, you certainly should not care what they're doing on their channel. So to sum that up, it's kind of like someone telling me I dare you not to do something, but they don't like me anyway. They talk about me all the time, but yet they're daring me to like take a challenge to them. And it makes no sense to me, because then they say I suck at everything. So, or that the creator sucks at everything. Like PewDiePie is going to go to a salon for a day. Like, it's not a challenge. What are you giving me for that challenge? You give me money? No? All right. Well, then it means nothing. So
right. And that's pretty much the only way to get rid of mommy dearest syndrome, is to tell the people that are suffering from it that the only way that they, is they have to pay for your services. Okay. If they want to double dog dare you on something, then they're just going to have to come up with some cash. Otherwise, mommy dearest syndrome really shouldn't even be acknowledged, because it's just nothing really to worry about.
And what about roadkill complex?
Oh, roadkill complex. That's when creators who are middle-aged, older range, have no other content, but must perpetuate hate in order to bring in views. It's a very serious disorder, and it's not one that should be taken lightly. It can really only be curbed or cured by the person suffering from the roadkill complex.
Okay.
There's really, unless they want help, there's really nothing. It's kind of like addiction.
Okay.
It falls into the addiction category. Not so much of a mental disorder or a physical disorder, but more of an addiction.
Okay.
It really is not curable unless, of course, they want help. So.
Okay. And here's one that I'm sometimes guilty of, but not really. But it's the twinkle, twinkle toes disease.
Twinkle, twinkle toes disease.
Twinkle, twinkle toes. Now, from what I understand, it's when you have multiple creators that join together on a panel, and you have to listen to them vape all night, and they have these really cheap vapes that are loud, and they just talk about the same person in every single live that they do while they suck on these vapes. And regardless of what chat it is, regardless of where they are, it's just this nonstop vaping and talking about the same person. Is that curable?
Well, years ago, that was called a starlight disease. They
Okay.
just recently changed that to Twinkle Twinkle Toes disease.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, and I'll be honest with you, it does. It fades away on its own. The person suffering from Twinkle Twinkle Toes disease usually gets so boring that people that are listening to them usually just pretty much shut them down after so long and just says, hey, you know what? We don't want to talk about this no more. So it usually just goes, it's nothing serious. It usually goes away on its own. It really does.
Okay. Even in other channels?
Yes. Even in other channels. It takes a little encouragement by the caretakers of the person suffering from
Okay.
Twinkle Twinkle Toes disease.
Okay.
But if those people really care about the person that's suffering from this, and like I said, years ago, it was called a starlight disease, and they changed it over the years. But usually the caretakers, the ones that are taking care of the person with the disease, will be able to curb it and put a stop to it, and the disease will just fade away into the night.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. You don't need condoms or anything. You just have to just wait it out.
No, you don't need condoms.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. No.
Okay. I'm just checking. Now,
Yeah.
the deadliest disease that we're going to talk about, and it really is the deadliest, is the court clerk's addiction.
And that one's scary.
It is scary. And what
That's
it
a
is,
scary disease.
it causes you to be on YouTube 24/7, even including 24/7 in your name, and catching everyone's streams, everyone's lives, and reporting back to Discord everything that's said from everyone in the community, no matter what time, whether you like them or not. It really is the scariest because you never sleep, you never eat, and all you do is obsess over your haters and carry them to your friends. That's scary. That's like the scariest disease on YouTube.
It is scary.
And how do you cure it?
Well, again, this is totally up to the individual. There's really nothing anybody can do. There's no medicine. There's just, short of sometimes like disconnecting someone's internet, something like that, often helps. Sometimes they've been known to go to like McDonald's or something, the library, just to feed that, illness or, whatever. But it's scary, and thank God it's rare.
Okay.
I only know of a couple cases here on YouTube. So,
okay.
I don't think it's much to worry about. Most people don't have the time or the dedication to have court clerk's addiction. So it's fairly rare.
That's like stage 4 of another disease, right?
Yeah, I mean, please, we cannot even begin to compare it to, something like cancer or anything like that.
Okay.
Cancer is a disease that no one has any control over.
Okay.
You definitely have control over court clerk's addiction. It's definitely controllable.
Okay. And now we have oopsie boopsie syndrome. And that's when people who don't like you think that when you speak negatively, that it's only about them.
Oh, yeah.
And what's scary about it is it comes in the form of voices in your head telling you that this is all about you. So yeah. I could be speaking about something totally having nothing to do with that person, but the voices in the person's head tells them this is about you. I'm speaking about you. And then they contact the creator saying, why are you talking about me? When it had nothing to do with them. So we call that the oopsie boopsie syndrome.
A lot of times that just has to do with either guilt or low self-esteem or, guilt by association. again, this is just one of those things that can be totally annihilated just by not watching the person that's triggering you. You know, this is one that can be triggered. And I don't like to use that word triggered. It gets used a lot. And I don't know what that person's talking about.
Who, Savage? I don't know. I've never watched Savage in my life.
I mean, neither. I have no idea who Savage is. But it's just, you know, it can be simply cured. You just quit watching the person that's, you know, that's bothering you. So.
Okay. Now, here's one that seems to be all over YouTube. All over YouTube. And that is the poor me trigger syndrome.
Another trigger.
And this seems to be an epidemic lately. And I just heard that it's highly contagious and dangerous. And it happens when subs of any creator are triggered by someone they hate and shouldn't be watching in the first place. Then they feel the need to go on somebody else's panel crying over it about said creator. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, there's not really a lot to elaborate. Dr. Keck, you've pretty much stated exactly what it is. The poor me syndrome, trigger syndrome is, it's rampant. It is rampant out there. You know, I do have concerns about this particular syndrome. The only thing that I know to even lessen the effects of this syndrome is to just basically ignore it.
Okay.
So.
All right.
You know, it's had other names throughout the years. It was victim syndrome. Like I said, about the only way to deal with this poor me syndrome, because the person suffering from it has got to want help. You know, it's another one of these conditions that with this, you gotta want to change it.
Okay.
So.
And let me switch to live chat and see live chat. All right. Is it contagious?
It can be. It can be a little bit contagious. And when I say that, it's a mental thing. Because when someone suffers from the poor me trigger syndrome, it's really easy for people to fall into a trap or enabling this person. So, there's a lot of enabling that goes on with the poor me trigger syndrome.
Why do you think that is?
I just think people in general have good hearts, and if it's not good-hearted, then it's because it goes back to, there's one in particular person that they want to make it appear as if this one individual person caused this grief in their life, caused this condition to be exaggerated. So, like I said, it's really rampant out there in YouTube. It really is. It's something to keep an eye out, and just be vigilant. It's okay to have empathy for people. It's okay to have sympathy for people, but be vigilant. If it's the same people day after day after day, week after week.
See, but Nadia said that you can buy special glasses to block these people out. You can buy them at CVS.
That's news to me, Nadia. I'm definitely, I'll look into that, because that's fantastic.
I agree. Now, someone brought up, which we didn't discuss, was flip-flop-fluenza.
Yeah, I saw somebody mentioned that in the audience, but I'm really not familiar with this. If that person would like to elaborate, I would. You know, I know it has to do with going from one extreme to another. Um, it's basically, okay, I like this person, and then a week later, no, I don't like this person. I'm back to liking this person. It's I don't know a whole lot about flip-flop fluence. I don't. Like I said, someone in the audience mentioned it, and if they would like to, come up and elaborate on it, I'd be willing to. I'm always up to learn something. So.
Okay, Steph, can you elaborate? Flip-flop like a pancake. Okay, so now would you say that a lot of these diseases are in all communities? And if so, is there any way to scout out these type of creators that you don't want to go to?
Well, and first of all, I don't want to say that these are really diseases. Most of these are conditions. A disease is something that can be treated with medication. These are not diseases. These are more conditions. And I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
That, is there anything that subs need to look out for? So, because it is airborne, I agree, Steph. That subs need to look out for. So, if they run into a creator that might have some of these diseases, they know what to look for.
Well, again, when it comes to your mental health and your well-being, you as an individual have to stay vigilant on protecting yourself.
Okay.
That falls on each individual. It's okay to go into other creators' rooms where these conditions are floating around. Just remember to always tell yourself, be aware of your surroundings, know what's going on around you, and just be vigilant.
Okay. Now, there's one that I thought of, and that is Trollitis. And that is when grown men and women go into rooms just to troll with ridiculous comments and try to mess up your game.
Yeah, it's a harmless condition, but and it's been around since YouTube started, since live streams were, created.
Okay.
It's harmless. It's pretty time consuming for the person who suffers from this. The best thing that I could tell someone is not really the person suffering from it. It's more the person that's receiving it. And that would be just to, ignore, block,
Okay.
just because it's one of those conditions that if you give it too much attention, it grows. It's almost like a fungus.
Okay.
Instead of a condition, it's almost like a fungus. So if you continue to feed it, if you continue to waller in it,
it's gonna grow.
Yeah, no offense, Mandy Waller. When I say waller, I mean like a pig wallers.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's just something that you just really got to learn to
ignore.
Yeah, if you have good mods in your if you have good mods in your channels, and sometimes they can be fun. This troll condition can actually be fun sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to learn to weigh the good with the bad when it comes to this this condition.
LOL, Pam. So, the thing with Trollitis, I find it a very, very big compliment that people think I use a filter when I'm on live. It's actually good lighting. But the fact that they think I look so good that it's a filter is the biggest compliment that anybody can give me. So if they think that they're trolling me, You're actually complimenting me a lot, and believe me, I take that compliment well. But it happens to be good lighting, if you really must know. Um, but I really do. If they think I look so good that it's a filter, that's probably the best compliment anyone can ever give me. Like, all bullshit
Well, as
aside.
long as they don't confuse it with actual filter syndromes, because there are creators out there that actually depend on filters for everything. They don't
Content.
actually ever appear on camera without filters. We know you, Dr. Keck. I know you personally. I've seen you appear on camera fresh out of the bed in the morning.
That was me this morning.
Yeah, I've seen you appear on camera after mowing your grass. So, as long as, you're not one of the creators that depend on filters for every time their face is shown, using a filter every once in a while.
I've never used a filter. I don't even know how to use a filter. I honestly don't. I mean, I could use like a stupid, make a bunny face or something like that. Like when you're on Facebook on your cell phone and you can make like a bunny face. That I can do.
Okay, now here's Troll. Broadway Tum Tum farted. My filter is obviously bothering this person.
You're not on a filter. No, I think
yeah,
he means the truth, like the actual truth.
Oh, I thought
he hasn't been a troll. He's been pretty much on point, unless I'm reading it wrong.
I apologize, Broadway Tum Tum farted. I thought you put Dr. Tooth, not the truth. I'm sorry.
No,
I misread
they put the truth. Because he was saying before how everybody's triggered. Everybody's got a trigger.
I apologize. I guess I'm a little triggered tonight. I apologize. I didn't mean to snap at you.
That is Dr. Toofs' dog. That's Doggy Toof. Doggy Toof likes to snore.
That is my dog. I apologize for the inconvenience. This is a late night appointment for me. I don't normally do house calls. So, again, I apologize for any inconvenience.
No one's farting, Ruth.
That's a whole nother that's a whole nother segment that we'll get into, farting and burping and scratching and
And so that's all that we have on. Oh, and attention-asitis. And that we kind of mixed in with the other, but that's when you have to have attention all the time.
Yes.
And you come up with problems and diseases, and it turns out that a lot of them turned out to be fake and catfish. But they want a platform, and they want somebody to listen to them. And that's another one that's spread out very far, and that needs actual medical help. That you need to go see your doctor, like a real doctor.
Yeah, and I recommend that no one suffering from any of these take our word for this. Please, by all means, see your general practitioner, especially for like if you. Yes, your general practitioner or your mental health professional. Please, this is just an informative segment. It's not to diagnose anyone in particular. It was just some things that are pretty common conditions around YouTube that Dr. Keck had asked me to come on and talk about. So,
is there a hotline number?
Oh,
1-800-GET-BETTER?
Well, the last time that I looked up a number, it was 1-800-FUCK-OFF. But I'm sure it's changed over the years.
Okay.
Like I said, these conditions are all they're all self-curable. And sometimes as a community, you got to help the person suffering from it. So 1-800-TRIGGER. Oh, that is the new number. You're right, Broadway. So
1-800-GET-A-LIFE also works. But 1-800-FUCK-OFF, I think, still works. I think it does. And that they have people on 24/7 that will help you not invest in somebody else's life and help fix yourself. So,
sure.
1-800-CHARTER. If you don't get help at Charter, please call please call help somewhere. Charter sucks.
So, I mean, anybody having questions, or anybody wants to come up on panel and speak with Dr. Keck, because,
or Dr. Toofs.
Yeah, I mean, these are community problems, and everybody is a part, is a piece of this community. This is YouTube. So, anybody wants to discuss anything any further, or if they know of a condition that might be floating around out there that we haven't covered, maybe we could look into it and, see what we could do about it.
Now, Susie Q, if you see a YouTube emergency, should you call the WAMbulance? But I think the Wawa...
No, WAMbulance.
WAMbulance.
Like wham. Ambulance.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Susie Q, by all means, yes. If you see an emergency, please call the WAMbulance, because we don't want anybody. It doesn't matter how we feel about each other in this community. No one wants harm to come to anybody.
I think some do.
Well, I don't believe that. I just believe that people get wrapped up in these conditions and they don't seek help for them, and other people enable them.
Well, Lady D is right. Maybe giving them cheese for their wine will definitely help.
That could help. Cheese for wine is often a good, it's kind of like chicken noodle soup for the soul, but it's...
I think it'll work.
So yes, that could definitely help.
That is one known cure for attentionitis and some of these others. Anything that it's attention seeking definitely has to have the cheese to go with that wine. So that is correct.
Yes. So have you guys enjoyed tonight's segment? Or, like I said, is there any questions? Anybody wants to...
Yeah, we got one from Steph. Flip-flop-fluenza is a contagious disease in which the infected goes back and forth defending creators, then turning on them within hours. It comes out of nowhere, but believed to stem from a desire to fit in.
Yes, Steph. Yes, you are correct. Yes. And that is a problem here in the YouTube community.
Steph, I'm adding that to the list. I'm giving you credit for it. Stephanie has just been named in DSM of YouTube. Does anyone else have any diseases?
Pearls of Wisdom. I watched an attention seeker tonight. Like I said, just Pearls of Wisdom, if you just don't feed into it, their condition will lessen. And that's the best you can do for somebody suffering from an attention deficit. Well, not attention deficit, but an attention seeking disorder. Just don't feed it, and it will fade. It really will. None of these conditions are serious. They're just, they're just YouTube conditions. None of them are fatal. I probably would, avoid the itchy butt when, pulling things out of your ass is never good. But yeah, none of these are fatal. It's just, these are just YouTube conditions, and they can all be addressed by everybody, and just stay vigilant. Just stay vigilant.
Jay has a good one. J Mac has a good one. Watts warts. That's a good one, Jay.
Yeah, that is a good one, Jay. I stayed away from the Watts disease that infected so many brains here on YouTube, that, and it's because of the warts. I just, me being a doctor and all, I just know that, okay, something's going around, and I just didn't want, I didn't want to put myself in this situation. So I couldn't participate in the Watts disease.
And how do you get rid of these warts? Because they seem to not be going away. It's almost
Well,
like chlamydia. It just doesn't go away.
Mr. Hughes in the audience here. I don't believe anybody. If they're still covering it, then they obviously like the disease, Mr. Hughes. They obviously don't mind the warts, because as soon as they quit covering the Watts case, the warts will go away.
Okay.
It's just that easy.
It is that simple? All right.
It is that simple. If they just quit covering a case that it was dead in the water before it ever got started, and I don't mean that in any disrespectful way to the deceased. It was just a case that just never really needed to be discussed. It was a tragedy. It happened. The man admitted to it. He's in prison for the rest of his life, and people just made it out to be something that it should have never been, which is why it did spread into an epidemic. And it was just a bandwagon that I personally refused to get on. Was never interested. I knew all I needed to know about it in the first week. So.
Okay. And Nadia made another attention 1-800 number. It's 1-800-WHY. So if you're really seeking attention and you need a buddy to talk to, you call Nadia at 1-800-WAAAAA, and you'll get a hold of her.
And if I had doxing disease, which doxing disease is also very common on YouTube, I would throw out Brian St. John's number, but I don't. So, but Brian does have my number on speed dial, so in case he ever suffers from any of these, he can just give me a call. We can talk about it.
All right. Now, does anyone have any other disorders that we may have forgotten about? Because they might be in the DSM, or we need to add them in the DSM. Keyboard warrior warts. Is that stem from the Watts warts?
Oh, it's more, well, I can't even say. There was a time when it was more common. Keyboard warrior warts was more common, but the Watts warts spread so quickly.
Is one more for male and female, or it's equally the same?
I think it's equally the same. I really do. I just think that YouTube is female dominant when it comes to creators. You have great male creators. You have Mr. Hughes. You have Mr. Crumbs. You have great male creators out there that do fantastic content, and they just don't allow these diseases to come into their rooms and spread. They still sneak in. They always will, especially trolls. But trolls, like I said, that's just a simple condition that anybody can deal with trolls. You just block them,
Do you think that coexists with moronatitis?
Moronatitis?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Moronatitis goes it goes out of the realm of YouTube. It's in every aspect of the world. Mr. Hughes probably knows more about moronatitis. I'm sorry, guys. This is just getting goofy now.
Oh my God, that was great. Moronatitis when said creator calls people morons.
And I think Mr. Hughes might have a touch of that, but it's okay. It's definitely livable, and it's actually somewhat of a personality trait. So it's admirable. It doesn't affect anybody really.
All right. What about stage 2 lurkatitis?
Well, I have to be honest with you. I too have suffered from lurkatitis, and I still do. It's something that I'm working on, because I find myself in the midst of my lurkatitis that I become triggered by some things being said. So I really need to work on my own condition of lurkatitis. I really do.
Okay.
it's all in how you handle your leukocytis.
Okay.
You know, if you can have leukocytis and refrain from commenting or anything like that, then it's not even worth talking about. Leukocytis is, it's simple. It's like tonsillitis. You know, you either live with big fat tonsils and your throat hurts, or you get them taken out. Leukocytis is the same thing. You either live with big fat headaches or you quit lurking, you know, so.
The Towns, the DNW all over cream, is that to cure it or to cause it?
You're not asking me, are you?
No, Hound.
Okay.
Onani said she has that, but her flare-ups are lessening, only when I'm triggered. Okay, as long as they're lessening, Nadia, that's a good thing.
And the first step is admitting that you have it, Nadia.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as long as you're aware that you have leukocytis, it's a pretty minute disease, right? I mean, and I hate to call it a disease. Let's call it a condition, you know, because I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just, you know, like I said, most of these don't take a PhD. It's just, you know, common sense medicine, really. But it is the first step, Nadia. It is admitting that I too have leukocytis. So.
Okay, so now Grace says pareidolia, which is the tendency to interrupt a vague stimulus as something known to the observer, such as seeing shapes in the clouds, seeing faces in inanimate objects, or abstract patterns, or hearing hidden messages in music. Now, I'm not sure how he thinks that relates to YouTube, but the way I see it, and he's right, that pareidolia is really how people say something and then it gets completely twisted. And you think that somebody's saying something and then you realize that that's not even what was said and they completely twist it around. So I know it's not the same, but it's kind of like hearing things that were never said and making out something that was never supposed to be made out. And I think that's where it contributes to YouTube. That's what I think.
Well, and I believe in Mr. Hughes's case, it also it triggers him when people try to make something out of nothing. When conspiracy theories, and it's kind of like making the shape out in the cloud, like we spoke of. I think that bothers Mr. Hughes. It's you know, Mr. Hughes has that black and white syndrome. Everything's black or white. You know, he's all about facts. So if you look at a cloud and say you see a dog, Mr. Hughes probably just sees a cloud. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Okay. You mean every day something out of nothing. Correct. Yeah, that can either be named as asshole aside. I agree with that. Like seeing the Virgin Mary and the pancakes I make. Absolutely, Julie. Someone people do suffer from grandiosity, whatever. And that is correct. Some people think they're bigger than they are. 100%. Know-it-all.
And Mr. Hughes just explained. He says he sees the cloud and it looks like a dog, but he knows it's not a dog. So he's got a very good point. If anybody looks at the cloud and it looks like a dog and they really believe it's a damn dog, then that goes way beyond the realm of my expertise. Mm-hmm. You know, that's something they really, really should seek help for.
Hyphenatitis. Hey, I use hyphens, Jackie. Big mouth syndrome. I am guilty of that.
Yeah, I have a touch of that also. So, you know, that and my leukocytis, I'm working on trying to get them both under control, but I just believe those are, you know, I believe they're genetic, not leukocytis, but definitely big mouth syndrome. I believe it's genetic. So there might not be any way for me to totally cure myself of it.
Okay, so Julie says, like Red Sharpie thanking Peeps for getting her where she is. Well, where the fuck is that? Okay, so here's the thing. That's grandiosity and stupidity combined into one, because she really should be thanking me. Because she wouldn't have any of them if she didn't start bashing on me. So that's really a compliment to me. So she should be thanking me for where she's at. But she's at like 600 and something subs, all because of me. Thank you. Compliment.
Yes, yes, Huckleberry. Foul mouthitis.
I got that. I'm guilty.
Yeah, I do too. So you see, none of us are immune to all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we all have a touch of something. None of us are, you know, perfect, mentally healthy people. So we all do have a little touch of something. Most of it is not to be worried. You know, it doesn't hurt anybody. It's just Nadia wants to know about moderator blockeritis syndrome. Yeah, I don't know.
We
don't
have to
suffer
have
from
that.
I block no one.
You
I
have
put them
to
in
have
timeout. I don't block anybody.
Let's see. Dr. Truth, I'm afraid I've been exposed to reputation rash. Symptoms include going on multiple panels, reliving the past, and asking for whole community's forgiveness.
I'm afraid I've been exposed to reputation rash. Symptoms include going on multiple panels, reliving the past, and asking for whole community's forgiveness. Well, Rosebush, because it is a simple rash, a rash is generally easy to cure. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Of course, if it gets worse, see your medical doctor or your mental health professional. But I wouldn't be concerned with just a small rash.
But she's saying that she's exposed to it, that it's spreading, because she sees it all the time. So how do we get rid of it?
You know, I don't know I don't know how to totally eliminate that. A lot of people ruin another person's reputation or attempt to ruin another person's reputation. In order to avoid the rash, all I could tell you is to just don't buy into it. If someone is trying to ruin someone's reputation, then go and check that person out for yourself. Make your own opinions about somebody, your own, come to your own conclusions about a creator. Just because you hear somebody is, rude or grouchy or, foul-mouthed or has no content, go over there and, get you a little bit of lurkatitis going and do a little lurking, check it out, make your own, come to your own conclusion.
Gray is right. The most overword used is narcissistic. Being confident and willing to fight for it as fact makes someone a narcissist in the minds of so many on YouTube. I get called one every day. So do I, Gray. Now, Kim has a good point. Kim said, and we'll call this the bashing Laura syndrome or bashing Laura-itis. And that's when channels start just to bash me personally. So Kim said, sheesh, Laura, I'm about to start bashing you. I'm trying to get to 300. Just playing. I would never. Even one day my feelings changed for you, I still would never. I can tell everybody, if you're trying to get to 1,000 subs and you want to get there fast, just hate on me. Just start a channel, start hanging out with Diana Wendy's, bash on me, and you will become 1,000 subs probably within a couple of weeks. So just saying, just let me know ahead of time so I don't think you're a turner. But the only problem is you're going to draw people that follow that have all these diseases. So that's the problem if you get that syndrome.
But we have to remember that, what did we call it? Bash?
The bash Laura-itis.
Well, the bashitis, we'll just leave out Laura for a minute. We have to remember that another creator began that syndrome.
That's true.
In this community.
That's
and
true.
a lot of channels were built off of that creator. So a lot of people suffered from Bash Marissa or Bash Molly, and a lot of channels were built off that. If it didn't get them to 1,000, they quickly jumped on the Bash Laura and caught the Bash Laura Titus, and it definitely put them over, the 1,000 mark. So,
okay. Gray, I'm not either. I don't think you are. So, what about blame disorder and or lactose proof syndrome? That's a good one. But I find that too, that like the rumor mill, it should have a better name, but the rumor mill, the potion is just mind your own fucking business, Jackie. That's the cure for most of these disorders. Gray has a good one, wannabe-itis. That's a good one too. But that follows in some of the ones we spoke about earlier. We'll all be cured if we get our own screenshots. There you go. That's one way to cure a Candy. But that's a whole nother realm.
That's a good one, Candy.
Poopy pants syndrome come from eating too many big fat nothing burgers they always serve up. Lactose proof syndrome. Okay, that's when creators find the need to pull things out of their ass, which coexist with the other one, which is
itchy butt.
The
itchy butt.
Yeah, the itchy bitchy syndrome. So they coexist together. The poopy pants syndrome falls into the Mangina files. You need a lorectomy procedure. That's a good one, Alexis. That is a good one. Show the proof syndrome or lactose proof. And that just means that you're allergic to actual proof. You can't show proof for anything. You just talk out of your ass, and then you end up with itchy bitchy syndrome. And then it hurts.
Yeah, a lot of these syndromes are domino effects.
Mm-hmm.
You can have one, and then within no time, the next thing you might suffer from several. So, again, everybody just must be vigilant to not fall into these, these situations where you attach these syndromes to yourself. If you see it happening, just run for the hills.
Ooh, doxemia, where people get doxed, right, Steph?
Yeah, doxemia. That one's so hard because, it's becoming so common. It's almost as if people look at doxemia as if it's just okay to have that syndrome nowadays, and it's so not. It's a very ugly syndrome. Nobody should be looking at it.
Julie,
as acceptable.
Julie, is there a name for that? Because Julie's got a good one too. That judging others' looks when never on camera syndrome. That people are judging other people's looks and they never even show their face.
Tawanda says a cectomy.
We'll cure it too.
Cure it too.
Okay. I saw that today and thought of Dana. What, Huckleberry? What'd you see? Does anyone want to come up on panel and discuss their own disease?
Please.
The big mouth syndrome falls in with the itchy bitchy syndrome. Well, I have a big mouth.
There's so many that go into, and having a big mouth is, it's not always a big thing. You heard the old saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So it's how you use your big mouth. Mm-hmm. If it's used for good, if your big mouth is used for just nothing but ugly, then, maybe you need to reevaluate. True cystitis gone in reverse.
How about kick-angular fever, where a creator called Laura Keck has taken over their body? They can't get her out of their mind and body and blame their actions on the fever. That works. I like that one. That's a good one. I want the dog to come on panel.
Oh.
BSJ syndrome falls into the Mangina files. And so do a few other creators, male creators. It's not just him. He's not alone.
I would put a pillow over the puppy's head, but then everybody would freak out.
Walmart fired me disorder. So, Rhonda, do you want to come up? Anyone? Nadia? Kara? Julie? These names, I'm going to look at everything as a syndrome now. That's right, Alexis. You are screwed.
And like I said, tonight has been, you know, kind of like all in fun. Just to poke fun at these YouTube
Idiots.
These YouTube creators who think they're skilled in territories of mental health evaluating. You know, some come on intoxicated, some come on uninformed, some come on just basically
Clueless.
You know, just talking, you know, just talking to be talking. This has all just been meant for fun. Nobody's serious here.
Oh, yes, we are. These diseases are serious. They're very serious. Hold on. We forgot a big one, the Brett Favre disease. And that is YouTube creators saying they're leaving but come back 3 times more than before. You can't forget that one. That's a big one.
That's a huge one.
That's a big one.
Who came in?
Yes, we covered it, Rosebush.
Janelle.
Oh, hey, Janelle.
Hi.
If a drunk person claims you trolled them, did you really troll them? We'll call that drunk disease. Yeah, come on, Nadia.
No, if a drunk person claims you trolled them, it doesn't mean you really trolled them. A lot of people that are intoxicated imagine things. You know, almost a sense of paranoia overtakes them. So no, definitely, I would not take that serious, Mr. Capone.
And being drunk on YouTube is never a good thing. You should not be drunk on YouTube.
You know, if you want to have a couple cocktails and come on YouTube and have a good time, but if you're going to be shit-faced wasted and you're not having a good time, you know, you're only coming on shit-faced wasted to diagnose a total stranger with, you know, some sort of mental disorder, then you probably got the problem. You know, that's, you know, that might be something to look into.
And what disease do you have, Janine? What disease do you know?
Marty's crazy. Start over. Just got here.
No, I think you've really covered most of them for me.
Seeing what said, Huckleberry? Guy on panel night disorder. Guys on panel night disorder?
Guys on panel night disorder.
I don't get that, Capone. How about Windows Shopatitis, where you just have to shop online for anything? That's not part of YouTube, though. You don't shop on YouTube. Drunk on YouTube, yeah, that's seeing it.
But Ziggy, that's still a good one, even though it has nothing to pertain to YouTube. But that's a good one, Miss Ziggy.
Nobody should get drunk on YouTube.
No.
Kekisteria, exaggerated,
Rosebush,
uncontrollable emotion.
You will see Fifi again, I promise.
Ooh, Rhonda's got a good one. Janine, I'll let you or the truth say it. I'm not saying it.
Well, guys, that's the condition where you use a creator for subs. Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
A big one.
That's a really good one. I like that. Supercell say hysteria, exaggerated or uncontrollable emotion or excitement, especially among a group of people. That is a good one.
Full of craptitis. That's a good one, Jennifer.
They are good. Hey, Marty. Marty, you're late. You missed all of it.
Hey, Marty.
No one was talking about anyone, so given some fun to the words, who knew there were so many YouTube... I know, right? And the sad part is that every single person can put each one to certain creators, and that's the scary part.
Including me. I mean, I have lurkatitis. And I have big mouth syndrome, or whatever it was called. I have some of these conditions, but I'm not afraid to admit it.
My favorite one, like literally my favorite one, is, and you guys are going to know, is the postpartum previous Patreon syndrome. That's my best one.
Yes.
Gotta love that one. Absolutely
is so
love that
true.
one. And with that falls on, I was gonna say even non-patrons, but it wouldn't fit. But there's got to be something, I'm not sure if we covered it or not, is that people that blame somebody, blame me for everything wrong in their life, from triggering to something that he wishes Meerkat, something that there has to be a name for that.
No, you've never done it, have you, Ben? You've never gotten drunk and gone live, ever, in your life?
Yes, he has.
I know he has.
Oh, Alexis, try not to get YouTube fluenza. Try not to get that. That's not good.
Oh, Tawanda's got one. Tubers amnesia, when they forget they talk shit about you.
Yes. Yeah, that one's sad. The best thing I can tell you about that is to get your screenshots, and if you get your screenshots, if you get your screenshots and your recordings, then people suffering with tubers amnesia will definitely be made aware of their condition.
See, Julie, I see that the opposite. I see another one is a disorder where subs and some channel creators constantly say about another sub, no one cannot like her. She is the sweetest person in the world without knowing them. I see it the opposite, when they try to convince everybody that you shouldn't like somebody and that they're the worst person in the world. So I kind of see it the opposite. Bandwagonitis.
Hounds had a good one. Mighty mouthitis.
The fucking Kermit voice. Who's got a Kermit voice? Oh, I know who he means.
Yeah.
Who's the new girl? You know who the new girl is. She's not new.
I'm not new.
It's Janelle. Get the time machine out. Let's go back in time. I just got here too. Miss all the good stuff. Cam-up-phobia. Condition in which a creator or sub will bash another's looks but never reveal themselves. She got a name for it now. Cam-up-phobia. There you go. Sheep shititis. Blame transfertitis. That's a good one, Jen. That's the name for what I said. Blame transfertitis. I mean, you just blame Laura for everything. Scammertitis on YouTube. That's one.
Yeah, that's common. That's common.
Get the outerus.
Get the fuck outerus.
Well, yeah, because that's a cure to a lot of these.
That's not a bad condition to have.
No.
Some of these conditions are they're just normal, healthy conditions.
Well, not all of them.
I mean, get the fuck out of outeritis is It's just a normal, healthy condition.
Yes, but
Hello,
that's got a good one.
Joanna.
Now, I do have a question, and I have a serious question, and I've been seeing it a lot in this stream.
Good one, Val.
I really don't go to other channels, and I honestly don't, so I don't know what's been going on. Why is everybody after Remy lately? Did I miss something somewhere? A lot of people tonight were saying Remy this, Remy that, Remy this. What did I miss?
I don't know. There's some Remy trolls. There's some Remy trolls running around. But you know, who hasn't had troll accounts made about them? I don't know who's behind them. They don't seem to be causing any harm. You know, I don't see them saying anything really, you know, derogatory or anything. You know, maybe I've not seen them all. I know I've seen something about Remy's turkey. You know, I ate Bob or something. I don't know.
But something must have happened that caused it. They didn't just pick a random Remy out of nowhere. And
Yeah,
I know
I don't
she had
know.
issues with Hockey Mom and Ninny, but they're not going to make troll accounts like that. And Hockey Mom's only troll account is
we know
Hockey
it's not
Mom.
Hockey Mom and Ninny because they've been in the same streams at the same time. So
That's true. I don't know.
But there's something with her. Something must have happened. Because I'm seeing it everywhere. Like, people are going after her, but I don't know why.
no, I don't know either. I don't know. I don't pay
Ninny's-
much attention to that situation. So
Gray, Ninny was so excited. You were looking for her last night. I told her, he came in. He's like, where's Ninny? She said she fell asleep last night really early. I don't know where she is today. Maybe she's mad at me. No, she was in my live this morning.
Yeah, she was.
Thank you, Edna.
sometimes,
I hadn't seen her.
sometimes on the weekends, Ninny spends it with her BFF, which is her niece. So
No, that's true.
They don't want you to watch this informative channel. I mean, I'm not saying I like her. I'm just saying that I'm just wondering why all of a sudden people are going after her. Like, what did I miss?
don't lock the top lock. The top
I
lock.
haven't watched anybody else on YouTube except your stuff.
Let's see. I was thinking a better way of explaining disorder. I was thinking on how on YouTube it is extremist, where you're either a saint or a sinner, no in between. Yeah, there's got to be something about that the righteous ones, maybe it's righteous ones anal, righteous ones anal probes. I don't know, but yeah, people think they're so righteous and that they can do no wrong, and anything someone else does is so wrong.
It's the stick up the ass itis.
That's it. Stick up the ass Titus. That'll work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because she's on every panel, I think. Perplexed, that's a rumors I heard. All right, at least it's something. No, I've seen a couple of them. But I just don't know why all of a sudden. Marty party here. All right, so we're pretty much done with that. I hope you guys enjoyed our doctoring. And I hope you guys learned a lot about the diseases going around YouTube. Because there are many. And they're very scary. So there are many. She's all over, okay?
Make our watching of YouTube a lot more easier to diagnose the trouble and stay away from it.
There you go.
And some of them are very harmless conditions.
Yeah.
It depends. They're not really harmless. Depends on the creator. Like,
well, I'm talking about like lurkitis. I mean, that's harmless.
okay.
And, you know, anybody could. You know, what does lurking really hurt? Unless it triggers you, unless you're lurking and it triggers you into another condition, then you know you might want to stop the lurking.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Because the poor me trigger syndrome, that can hurt. That can be hurtful.
It can.
I would say if you suffer from the poor me trigger syndrome, I definitely advise you to seek help. Professional help. Not Dr. Toofs help, but actual real help. Real help from someone that can help you. Same thing with, let's see. And you definitely, one that you definitely want to stay away from is the Cuckoo babbles disease. That's a big one. Because that's dangerous. Like, you don't want to worry about what other people do. Let people do what they want to do. Let people donate what they want to donate. Let people spend what they want to spend. If you have a creator that wants to spend all their money on dope, if you still want to give to them, it's nobody else's business.
Well, and I think just, always keep in mind to everybody just do their own thing. Mm-hmm. And make your own decisions and stay off bandwagons, for God's sakes. Mm-hmm. Diseases spread, conditions spread so quickly within a bandwagon.
Yeah, they do.
So if you hop on a bandwagon, be fully prepared to catch one of these conditions, to come in contact with and possibly be infected with and or develop one of these conditions. So I suggest you just stay off bandwagons. It's just not a good environment.
People who are susceptible to getting their feelings hurt easily, they need to be more aware of these conditions.
Sure.
Holly has a good one. Said the plus side of developing cuckoo babble syndrome is that no one will be able to understand what you're saying anyway. Very good point. That's a very, very good point. I have to add that to the disease. That was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, that is a plus side. So
that's definitely a plus. You are correct. I meant the not lurking, but congrats. That's awesome. Ben, what'd you do?
Alexis, I have it too. I've got lurkatitis too, but I'm pretty good at not speaking while I'm working. But my problem is I'll lurk and then something will be said or printed that catches my attention and it sends me into some other otitis, I'm sure. So I really need to try to control my lurkatitis.
It puts you in a frenzy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Kathy, that's why I don't go to them either. What exactly is clockatitis?
Clockatitis? Mm-hmm. I don't think we covered that.
Well, Dearest, what is it?
Oh, I know. Oh, it's a syndrome in which you say clock it after everything that you say. So I'm fully aware of that otitis. Yes, it's a syndrome.
I am, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a syndrome. Clock it. Mm-hmm. It's more of an addiction than it is anything. To say clock it after everything that you say. And there's also in the house syndrome, in the house otitis. It's very similar to clock it.
Right.
Where you say in the house after everything. So, it also, there's love you so much. That's
I was going to ask about that.
That's one creator who creates something and then it just spreads like wildfire. It belongs to that one creator, and it shouldn't, it's kind of like their trademark. So it shouldn't be taken away from that one creator, but it happens. So.
Tilly May said that on that report about me. I have no contact with Tilly May. I was a self-confessed lurking even in your chat.
You're right. They should never be combined.
All right. So this was 2 hours of very informative information. I want you guys.
Yes, they did take it from Rich Lux. You're right. Slippery slope.
I want you guys to know in 30 minutes, because I have to get something to eat because I'm starving to death. In 30 minutes, I will be on D-Live to call the talk shit about people disease. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm going to go on D-Live, take a break from YouTube, and that will be in 30 minutes. It's PURPLEXEDQT. I haven't been on there in a long time, and just trying to do a change of pace instead of constantly doing YouTube. So
thank you all for having me on panel.
And I want to thank you. Actually, Janelle, I'm going to use my other account because I haven't been on there in so long. There's like 20 people on there. But I am going to use PURPLEXEDQT, DLive/PURPLEXEDQT. And that's it.
Oh, no, Marty, you didn't scare us away. You don't have scariatitis. You're a nice guy.
DLive is it's a gaming platform.
I want everybody out there in YouTube land, anybody suffering from lurkatitis right now that may be lurking here, to know that once again, this is all in fun. You know, there's so much misdiagnosing going on out there that we just thought we'd do a little, you know, throw a few diagnoses out there ourselves. So I hope, you know, it doesn't spawn a bunch of videos. You know, it doesn't need to be taken any more seriously than what it was meant.
Oh, no, they're all done, remember?
Well, we'll see. I don't know about that, but
they claim to be done. So what I am going to do, oh, you know what? How is this? Oh, because I didn't put it in. All right. So for those of you that don't have D-Live, all right, so I was wrong. I'm going to go on the D-Live TCN. It's PURPLEXEDTCN on D-Live. Janelle post a link. A fun vent. That is correct. I will also stream it on YouTube, so I don't know how it's going to work with what I see. But,
you too, Edna.
But for those of you that are not on D-Live, you'll be able to see it on, you'll be able to see the same stream, like kind of like what Oni does on YouTube. But I have to go get something to eat because I'm starving to death.
Fake as fucking Titus. Yeah, that's rampant too. But
that's rampant around YouTube.
Yeah,
rampant.
That could be a whole episode in itself. So thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
So I want to thank you, Dr. Toof, for coming on.
Thank you, Dr. Keck.
You are amazing.
Thank you, Dr. Keck.
Thank you for explaining all of these diseases that we needed to know. Enjoy your okra. That is correct. Ben flirting with Janelle. And I will see you guys 30 minutes D-Live. If you don't have D-Live, you'll be able to catch me here. So that's it. I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.
Everybody take care.
Bye-bye.